Hello everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from Darkwater. Yes, we are back with some all-new Servants of Nurgle, and we have the Blight Templars, the heavy armoured boys of the new set. And these came to me via Games Workshop, who sent me this box early to build up and paint with all of you, and a massive thank you to them for doing that, because this is being absolutely fantastic. What a wonderful experience this box is. So we're going to jump in and we're going to start painting them. They have been primed in Wraithbone, and well, it is a Contrast Plus painting tutorial, but the colour we're going to be starting with is some thinned down Runelord Brass, and we're going to be applying this over the top of everywhere that's going to be green armour. So this isn't all of it, it's not every single bit of armour, because some of their shoulders and things, for example, are really battered, sort of rusty silver. But if you've got the box art open, you'll be able to see everywhere that's green. This is going to be most of the plate. We're just going to apply this Runelord Brass over the top of all of it. And then once that's done, we'll be right back. So with all of that Runelord Brass applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take a roughly 4 parts Militarum Green to 2 parts Lahmian Medium. So technically it's a 2 parts Militarum Green to 1 part Lahmian Medium mix. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of all of that Runelord Brass. And with that Militarum mix applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Mantis Warriors Green. And we're going to apply this over the top of this, just to add a little bit of extra green and a little bit of extra yellow into the armour plating. Just like that. So with that all done, you should now have some glorious, slightly shiny, metallic, Nurglish armour. So what we're going to do is move on now to a different colour. And that colour is going to be some Black Legion. I'm going to use this over top of their kind of undersuits. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is going to take some Sigvald Burgundy. I'm going to apply this over top of this guy's tabard. And with that Sigvald Burgundy applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take 2 colours, Skeleton Horde and Cygor Brown. And we're going to apply this over top of the horns. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with some Skeleton Horde. I'm going to apply this over the top of the horn, like that sort of thing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to wash the brush, get rid of the water, and then grab a little bit of Cygor Brown, and then just towards the base of the horns, like that, we're going to apply the Cygor Brown. I'm going to wash the brush once more, get rid of the water, then we're just going to use a clean brush to just smooth out that transition just a little bit between the two, like that. So with that all done, we've applied Skeleton Horde over the top of this little cable tie, and we've also applied it over the top of the wraps and the tabards on this guy and this guy. So, forgot to mention it. Anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to take some Dark Angel's Green, and we're going to apply this over the top of the gloves. And with that Dark Angel's Green applied, we then going to take some Cygor Brown, and we're going to apply this over the top of all of our remaining leather, including the grips of the weapons. And with that all done, we're then going to take some Guilliman Flesh, and we're going to apply this over all the fleshy stuff, funnily enough. So we've got the guts on this individual. They've got their kind of necks where they're bulging out of these armor suits as well. The weapons all have some form of fleshiness clinging to them. So for example up here, we just want to apply that Guilliman Flesh. Just like that sort of thing. So with that now done, we're going to take some Wyldwood, and we're going to apply this over the top of this tree that this individual appears to have had an argument with. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take a roughly 2 parts Black Templar to 1 part Lahmian Medium mix. And we're going to do kind of a bit of a weathering and a little bit of blending. So here on the tree, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of the kind of base of the tree. Like this sort of thing. We're going to bring it up to around about there on the tree. Wash the brush. Get rid of the water. Then we're just going to blend it into the brown. Like that. I'm just going to go in and finish. So we actually just missed a little bit down here. There we go. Missed a bit just in there. And in there. And that one just there, like that. Then what we're going to do is we're also going to apply this around the pock marking in the armor, around any breaks, like that sort of thing. Then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of the gloves of this guy. Like that. Similarly, we're going to be doing this over the top of the pock marking on this individual. But what we can also do, if you want to, is, for example, let me just finish this off actually, before we get distracted. There we go. So the other thing that we can do, for example, on this individual, is the lip of the belly, just around there. We're going to apply some of this Black Templar, like that. Then, wash the brush, get rid of the water, and then just go in there. And just blend it off, or wipe it off really, like that, just to apply a little bit more of kind of like a shade and shadow. So we do the same thing over here, like that. Wash the brush, touch off the water. And then give it the blends. Just like that. It is entirely optional, but can't hurt to add it. With that Black Templar all applied, we're then going to take some Nazdreg Yellow. I'm going to use this to add some extra grossness to some of our grossness. So, for example, here on these guts, I'm just going to apply some just in there like that. But we're also going to apply this over top of things like these little eyeballs on the weapons. Like that. And well, that's kind of it. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to apply this over, well, all of our remaining details. Now, we are going to add a little bit of extra variation into the models, but for now, the simplest thing to say is to just get this Iron Warriors over everything that remains, and then we'll sort it all out coming up next. So with all that Iron Warriors applied, we're now going to take some thinned down Runelord Brass once again. I'm going to use this to add that little bit of variation here and there. So we're going to start by, well, colouring any bells like this. This one just here. We've got some decorative parts of the weapons as well, like the counterweight on the axe. Just in here. Like that sort of thing. Got this little doodad. Just there as well. That kind of thing. So with that all done, it's now time to add some shades. And we're going to start off with some Carroburg Crimson. And we're going to use this to add just a little bit of extra colour to some of our fleshy bits. So for example, those parts in there, like that, of the guts. We don't need to do all of it if you don't want to. And what you can also do is do a bit of blending. So we want to wash the brush here. Touch off the water. And then just lift it off that kind of lower gut there, like that. Similarly, you can do the same thing up here on the weapon stuff. Like that. Wash the brush, get rid of the water. And just absorb it move it off. And so with that all done, we're then going to take two colours, Agrax Earthshade and Gore-Grunta Fur. And we're going to use this to shade, well, all of our metallics. So we're going to start with some Agrax Earthshade. We're going to apply this over the top of all of this silver pale pauldron over here, for example. Just like this sort of thing. There we go. And then what we're going to do is going to wash the brush, get rid of the water, and then grab some Gore-Grunta Fur. And we're going to apply this at the same time to add some grime and rusty patches over the areas you want to be grime and rusty. Like that sort of thing. Now stuff like that big swirl there on the shoulder, we're actually going to leave that, and there's the occasional part where you actually won't want to use any Gore-Grunta Fur whatsoever. But in other cases you can just use only Gore-Grunta Fur. Like this sort of thing. Just to colour it in. Make it look really dirty and horrible. And so with that all done, our Blight Templars are now at what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. They already look pretty fantastic. However, we're not going to leave them there. Of course not. We're going to take them to the next level. What we're going to do is by adding some highlights. Now, the first of these is going to be some thinned down Canoptek Alloy. And we're going to use this to highlight the armour. Now, we're not going to highlight any of the kind of pock marks or any of that areas that we did the Black Templar around. And we're not going to highlight any of the rusty bits either. We're just going to be highlighting the green, and consequently any areas that still resemble a bit of brass. So stuff like that counterweight there on the axe. With all that Canoptek Alloy applied, we're now going to take some thinned down Deepkin Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight those blackened pock marks that we didn't highlight with the Canoptek Alloy. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Castellan Green. I'm going to use this to highlight the gloves on this guy, but we're also going to use this to highlight the black kind of undersuits across all of them. With that all done, we are now going to take some thinned down Karak Stone. I'm going to use this to highlight the tree. And then next up, we're going to take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight all of our flesh. With that Flayed One Flesh all applied, we then take some thinned down Screaming Skull. And we use this to highlight all of our bone areas. This is going to include these tabards down here, the bandages over here, and the wrap on the axe, but also, fundamentally, the horn So with that all done, it's now time to work on that rusted silver. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking some Skrag Brown and a DIY stippling brush. Now this is a medium layer brush that I've snipped the bristles off in order to do this. And what we're going to do is we're just going to very gently build up some areas of rust by stippling on the Skrag Brown like this over the top of all the silver. And with that Skrag Brown applied, we're then going to take some Deathclaw Brown. I'm going to add just a little smattering of this inside our Skrag Brown stipples. And with that all done, we're then going to take some Troll Slayer Orange. I'm going to thin it down with roughly 4 or 5 parts water to make it nice and runny. And we're going to apply this just kind of in the recesses and things of that silver, just to add a little bit of extra brighter rust. And so with all of that rust applied, we're now going to finish them off by taking some thinned down Ironbreaker. And we're not going to do a full highlight of all the silver. Instead what we're going to do is we're going to kind of pick out the sharpest edges, where we just want to add a little bit of extra shine and lethality. Kind of like just a spot highlight. And there we have it. The heaviest armoured boys in the box are now finished. I really like these. I love this direction for the Maggotkin of Nurgle. I cannot wait until later on, perhaps probably next year at this rate, that the new Maggotkin stuff comes out. We're basically learning how to paint it right now by going through Darkwater. I mean, this scheme just transplants straight onto it, and it's really fun, and as you can see, it's very quick and simple to do as well. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.